So one of the things that if you're watching, regardless of your position, I'd encourage you to think about, and this is for anyone who has really, I mean, at a minimum, it can technically be free, but anything from I'd say 50 US dollars a month going up to 200 US dollars a month, but you can get it free also, depending upon your network and your ability to be persuasive and also the value that you can provide. I am a huge believer in everyone having their own individual personal assistant will change your fucking life. And often people say that so a couple of things built into that. So number one, how can you get a virtual assistant at a price point? Just go to developing economies, and for certain people that will be meaningful, whether it's someone who is initially unpaid but you offer them a path to getting paid more as they drive value and as you to a degree figure out what that value is, but you can get it from developing economies, India, Pakistan, Philippines. There's other economies as well, and also for a person who understands what the value is, they'll come regardless of the economy that they're in because they see the bigger picture. Obviously, for those of you who are thinking, well, I don't run a company. Why do I need it? I'm gonna address that obstacle. I'm gonna address that issue literally in the next 15 minutes because it's always all a case of limited thinking because I'll give you a ton of examples for how you could use a personal assistant. So, one, the power of having your own personal executive assistant is massive. It's huge. It's huge. Okay. Two, it is absolutely inexpensive. Three, if you think about the nature of, for example, let's just say 100 US dollars, I'll give you a whole list of items that if I was starting today and I was in the position of being within a team, being an employee, whatever you are, I'll give you the list of items that I would think about. So I talk about the trees in your garden. What about having someone who's a personal assistant who could be your accountability coach? Check in with me let's say we have a personal assistant called George. George, check in with me every day at 9 a.m. to ensure, George, I want you to work when I wake up, when I wake up, and I want you to be available for these hours in my day. These are the things that I'm trying to achieve. I want to do a 1K run every day. Can you just message me at midday saying, did you do your 1K run? First thing. Okay, George, by the way, also, I do my shopping every Friday. Can you just remind me to, before I leave the house, to ensure that I'm going to take all of my relevant shopping bags or to fulfill my shopping list? Third thing, George, I am really struggling with the management of the tasks for my team. Can you come to all of my meetings and just note down all of the tasks that I've asked people? And can you just remind me to check in? Well, did Richard do his task? Did Frank do his task? Did Adam do his task? George, I've got these lists of books that I would like to read, but being realistic, I'm probably not going to read. Can you find summaries online and just send to me some notes and put it into a bit of a presentation for me? That would be quite useful. George, I've got all of these goals and things that I want to do. Can you just again hold so bucket number one, accountability, bucket number two, checking in, bucket number three. Oh, George, so I've got, I'm married. So my anniversary, my wife's birthday, the first day that we met, my kids' birthdays. Can you just find out all of the dates for everything and put reminders into my calendar of when the birthdays are coming up? George, can you also 3 days before present to me lists on Amazon of things that I could purchase that would be really cool gifts? George, can you do some research? I want to maybe enter a 5K run, but it takes time to research. Can you just find, I'm based in New York. Can you find within the next 90 days 10 5 kilometer runs? This is the budget that I've got for it. And can you just figure that out for me? George, I want to stay up to date with the latest changes within SEO while I'm busy working. Can you monitor these 10 websites? And can you just share with me and summarize the latest interesting new developments? And can you, George, I subscribe to these newsletters, but the truth fucking is I never read any of the newsletters because I get so busy. Can you subscribe to all 10 of these newsletters? And can you just send me the summaries? Guys, this is just me spitballing off the top of my head. When you spend the nature of spending the money when you have a virtual assistant will force you to find tasks for them. And then when you do have the virtual assistant, you will wonder how you live without them. And the cost of doing it again, I said you can explore your own networks, you can have a look at price points online, but the level of leverage and value that that one person can drive is phenomenal. It's crazy. It's a large proportion of what Lydia does. Lydia is going to move into sales, and now Catherine is going to be doing it more so. But there's just an infinite amount of tasks or things that I have that I never get around to that are of high value that create leverage in my own life. So for those of you who are watching, and this is, for my team, I'd absolutely advocate considering getting a personal assistant, an executive assistant. You will create time because many or most of us suffer from these issues. George, can you research based upon this is my body composition, this is that, this is that. Can you just tell me, I go to this supermarket, can you just tell me the two things I can buy that are canned but are really healthy for me that I can just eat that require zero prep because I'm busy and I don't have time to get to it? Oh, great. So I'll buy that. I'll buy that. Fantastic. George, can you just order it for me on a monthly basis now? Are you guys seeing? Is this giving you some ideas as to how I would use a personal assistant and how it would accelerate your ability to be effective at whatever it is that you're choosing to do? So everyone should get one. It will create a significant amount of leverage, and you can train that person up to become massive and indispensable for you and help you in any ways. And practically, you're in an environment where me as an employer, I'm like, if you get this person to end up doing 10% of your work, doesn't matter if the outcome is great. So be creative in your use of it and also think about all of the implications it has for your personal life. George, I go to these meetings with Deepak and sometimes he references these books. I'm going to send you the notes from all of the meetings. Anytime he references a book, can you just send me a quick summary of that book? Look it up online, read a couple of summaries and put it into a thing. And then every Friday, George, we'll have our meeting and you can go through all of the things that you need to remind me about. I do this with Lydia, by the way. I send her loads of shit over time and she keeps a to-do list. And then we'll get on a call and I'll be like, what's all the stuff that I've told you about that I've now forgotten about? So, okay, you need to switch your mobile phone provider. Okay, you need to quickly give me access to this. Okay, you need to look at different gel packs for your runs. And then I'll try and instantly action some of them on the call, or she'll raise it to my level of consciousness and thereby it increases my throughput, my ability to get things done. So it's inexpensive. It's absolutely fucking worth it. And again, it's taking you down that whole path of doing the shit that successful people do. Does that make sense? So I looked at what do successful people do. Hyper successful people, all hyper successful people that exercise every day, they seem to learn every day, they all seem to have executive assistants. In the presidency, they call it the fucking chief of staff. There's a role within the US presidency structure or government structure, whatever, called the chief of staff. And I always wondered what that role is. It's someone who just follows the president around and just goes to all of the meetings and just takes notes and tells him what to do and what he needs to follow up upon and just literally shadows him. And it's meant to be the president's right hand man. So it's one of the other things that successful people seem to have. And we live in an age where getting access to these things is so inexpensive. Another example, I'm looking for a CrossFit trainer. I said to Catherine, go online and look for CrossFit trainers and find the cheapest, best one possible. Because frankly, I don't want to sift through all of the different websites, sign up to all of the different platforms, negotiate with people. I'll let Catherine do all of that for me. And then, hey, presto, I say, look, this is my budget. Find the best 2 or 3 people that could do what I want based upon this. Off you go. So think about in your own lives the value something like that can drive.